Welcome back to another edition of SNG News, and this is the program where we tell you what's going on here at SNG Studio and what are all the crazy things I'm working on. I also want to remind you that Mary and I have a podcast we do weekly. You can find us on Podbean, iTunes, just look for SNG Now, correct? And plus, here's a link down here to Podbean. We have a lot of really interesting guests on, and it's free to listen to. We had Brian Hennessy this week, which was great. He's an old friend of mine who came to my rescue when I was down in the dumps and Jilly was going through her fight with cancer. He came over and helped for a long time work with model jobs that I had, and he wanted to learn stuff, but he was quite talented himself, and he did great work, and he became a good friend. And so we haven't seen him for a long time. He came up and we did an interview with him all about his career and his work in film, which you'll love seeing. Additionally, we're going to have Doug Drexler. Doug Drexler himself, my old friend from way back in the film business. And of course, I don't need to tell you what he's all about. You'll want to listen to that podcast as well. We'll be, we don't call it taping, but recording that on Tuesday. So, what else have we been doing this week? Well, I've been working on the laser blast gun. Now, just to bring you up to date a little bit in case you're checking in for the first time. 40 years ago, I worked on a movie called Laser Blast, where I played an alien. I made the gun and the props and did Kim Milford's makeup as well as my own. And V applied the makeup on me, V. Neill, who also will be on our podcast coming up. So we're recreating it for the 40th anniversary, and so I've been working on all the different masters and parts. This is the master for the gun barrel and the main body, which originally used to be a bleach bottle, which I used back then. This goes on here like this. And let's see, I'll put something under it to hold it up. This, of course, can be molded in fiberglass, epoxy resin, or maybe 1630, so we can produce these out of fiberglass. This will be a plexiglass tube, and these are the parts I've been working on, which are molded from, get that off there, from these silicone molds right here that I made off of masters I produced out of styrene and wood to make these parts. And these are actual parts just taken out of the molds just a few minutes ago, in fact. As I break away some of the plastic here. And they came out really well, especially for a first run. This goes here. Be good now, don't fall over on me. It's gonna fall over on me. Just like that. Originally, I had used a 16 millimeter 400-foot mag film can, which went there. And of course, the parts from Star Trek tricorder went on here. Now there's lots of other little parts I have to make, but these are the main body parts. Now I need to cast several of these. They'll all be painted aluminum color because the originals were aluminum, and they'll run all the way down there. And you can see the beginnings of a laser blast gun. These are actual parts. The rest of it all has to be molded, and then we make more parts. So we're working on this, and if you become a subscriber on our Patreon account, then you can have access to the videos that show you blow by blow how I'm building this gun from scratch, similar to what I did 40 years ago. What else? We're going to be getting back to this Discovery model very, very soon, probably next week, because we really need to finish painting it and get it out of here. Additionally, this radio-controlled Seaview will be finished as well, and all that's being covered in our longer videos. And over there, sitting on my car, is my beloved Aquila glider. It's a radio-controlled glider. It's got a 100-inch wingspan, and this model was produced back in 1978 by Airtronics, and there are no kits anymore. So the only way to build this model was to get plans, and working from the plans, produce the various parts by hand, cut them all, no laser cutting or anything like that, all cut by hand, and assemble this entire model, which has taken some time, I must admit, but it's a wonderful thing, and can't wait to fly this. So, and we're very excited because this Sunday, here in Ventura, we're having a screening of our pilot to our series, But Something Is There. And this is a series, a dramatic series, that we've been working on for 2 years to get the pilot done, because we funded it ourselves. And we had a lot of talented people help us to make this film possible on their own time for free, which was incredible in itself. And I want to thank Paul Gentry so much for the work he did, and Isaac Blair on the final cut, which is done. We even have Blu-rays. So we're all excited about Sunday and having the screening here in Ventura. That pretty much covers everything we've been doing this week. And I want to thank you so much for being a member of Patreon and for just watching the show and being a supporter of SNG. We love you a whole bunch, and we'll see you again next week.